Welcome to Evolve Your Life, the podcast where values meet vision, ambition meets alignment, and family fuels your purpose. I'm Dr. Stefanie Ascher, chiropractor, entrepreneur, homeschool mom, cancer warrior, and your go-to girl for building harmony in every area of life. Around here, women step into living fully and authentically, and we believe you are capable and worthy of it all. So grab your coffee, get cozy, and let's evolve your life together. Hey love, welcome back to Evolve Your Life. Today, I want to talk about something that I feel like I have personally been needing right now and something that I am walking through. And I feel like a lot of you might be feeling the same way. And it's a reset, not a massive life overhaul, not waking up tomorrow and suddenly starting all new routines and becoming a completely different person, not a 30-day challenge where we change the way we eat, work out, wake up at 5 a.m., organize the entire house, and somehow become the most productive version of ourselves overnight. Just a reset, a return to the habits and the rhythms that make us feel good. Because I think there are seasons of life that are meant to be a little more free. Summer is one of those seasons for us. Schedules loosen up, bedtimes get pushed a little later, we travel, we say yes to things we might not normally say yes to. Our days aren't always as predictable. Sometimes we can be eating differently, we move differently, we spend more time outside, we let some of the structure go. And I actually think that's a beautiful thing. And that is a season that we've been in. It's been a little bit more free and flowy. There's been a little less structure with some things and a little bit more structure with others. And I don't think every season of our lives needs to look the same, but I also think you can feel when you're ready for a little bit more structure again. You can feel when the freedom that felt really good for a while starts to feel a little chaotic. And that's where I am at right now. We have been in a beautiful season where I have been all in on my family and at home, and all in on the kids and their activities and their schedules. And I have been pulling back from my CEO schedule, different work routines that make me feel really comfortable and confident with the way I'm moving the business forward. I'm just moving from this really free, relaxed season where I've been creating from flow rather than force, which is a beautiful thing, into a season where I'm feeling like I'm wanting and ready to get back into a good groove. We are going to start back homeschooling again. We're getting into more structured days. Jiu-jitsu has set a big routine for us, and that's been really great. But then the last couple weeks, the kids have been sick, and it's been a week and a half out of that routine. And I'm honestly craving just getting back into the habits that I know make me and our family feel our best. And I don't think I'm alone in that. Maybe your kids are going back to school. Maybe you're starting your homeschool year. Maybe summer completely threw off your routine. Sometimes the kids stay up later. Meals have been a little bit more spontaneous or more ordering out. Your workouts sometimes get a little bit more inconsistent. And if you're anything like me, your house feels like it's permanently lived in and you're just ready to have a rhythm again. That is where I'm at. We spent last night and this morning doing 8 loads of laundry because we are just living in chaos right now. And I just know that I've not been showing up in the way that makes me feel my best. And so I want to start here. You do not need to feel guilty about that. Different seasons require different things from us. The answer isn't to look back at the last couple weeks or the last few months and think, I need to get it together. The question that I want you to ask yourself is, what would make my days feel better right now? What would make you feel better? What would make your home feel comfier and cozier? What would make your family function better in their week? Because I don't want you to create routines just for the sake of being productive. I want you to create rhythms that actually support the life you're trying to live. And I think there are 5 things we can do to make that reset feel a whole lot easier. Number 1, start with your anchors. The first thing I want you to do is resist the urge to change everything. I know how tempting that is, especially when you have the itch to just do a full reset. We decide we're going to get back on track. So suddenly we need a new morning routine, a new workout program, a new meal plan, a new planner, a new bedtime routine, a new cleaning schedule. And then Monday comes and we are going to start and we're going to become an entirely new human being. And then what happens? We do it for 3 days, maybe a week, and then life happens. Something gets thrown off. The kids have a rough morning. Work gets crazy. Somebody gets sick. We don't get enough sleep. And then suddenly the whole thing falls apart because we created a routine that required perfection in order to maintain it. Instead, I want you to identify your anchors. Ask yourself, what are the handful of things that when they're happening consistently make me feel the best? And then ask the same question about your family. What are the things that make your home feel grounded? Maybe it's everyone getting enough sleep. Maybe it's having dinner together. It might be moving your bodies every day. I know for a lot of parents, it's starting your morning before your kids wake up. Maybe it's having the kitchen cleaned before you go to bed, which is my toxic trait. I am so bad at that. Maybe for some of us, it's sitting down on Sunday and making our schedule and our plan for the week so that we know what's happening when, what our meals are, what kids' activities are coming up, what work responsibilities we have. Maybe for you, you want to start homeschooling at the same time every day. It might be just consistent morning and evening routines. Whatever those things are for you, start there. You do not need 17 new habits. You need a few anchors that everything else can build around. And I think sometimes we underestimate how much those simple things affect us. When I'm sleeping well, when I'm moving my body, eating foods that make me feel good, and our family has some sort of rhythm to our day and our week, everything feels easier. I am a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm better in my business. I'm more patient, more focused, more energized. So instead of asking, how do I completely change my life and reset everything? Ask, what are the few things that make the biggest difference in how I experience my days and my life? And then start there. Number 2, build routines around the life you actually live. So the second thing is to make sure that you're making your routines realistic. I love a good plan. I love sitting down and creating the perfect schedule. Anyone who knows me knows that our life revolves around our schedule. Steve will make jokes if somebody asks him to do something or what we're doing. He'll say, I have to ask my schedule because I love having a plan so that we can live life with more ease. A routine is successful because you can actually repeat it, and your routines have to fit the season that you are currently in. Your routine when you have little babies is not going to look like your routine with school age kids. Your routine during a busy season of business, like what I'm going into with Q4 coming up, might not look like my routine like it did during summer. Your summer rhythm might not look anything like a holiday season rhythm, and that's okay. You do not need to force yourself into someone else's idea of the perfect day. So if you have not sat down and done a perfect day exercise where you write out from start to finish what a perfect day in your life would look like, I highly recommend that you do that. Do it for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Do it for the weekend. I want you to be able to envision what your dream day looks like so you can also create routines and rhythms built around that. Look at the life you also actually live and build around that too. Here's something that I have realized. We sometimes can associate structure with restriction. Like if everything is scheduled, we're losing our freedom. And I don't feel that way. Even as somebody who craves freedom in life, I crave structure too, because for me, structure can create freedom because structure eliminates so much decision fatigue. When I know when I'm working out, I don't spend half the day deciding if I'm going to or when I'm going to. When we know what we're having for dinner, we're not standing in the kitchen hungry and hangry and grumpy asking what everybody wants to eat. When the kids know what the morning looks like and what the day ahead brings, we are not renegotiating the routine every moment of the day. When bedtime happens at the same time, there's less chaos surrounding it. So remind yourself that structure does not have to mean rigidity. Structure simply means that we have intentionally decided how we want certain parts of our lives to work and feel. And then we stop having to make those decisions over and over again, and that will free up so much mental space. Number 3 is make the healthy choice the easy choice. This is one of my favorites because this is where we stop relying so heavily on willpower. I encourage you to make the healthy choice the easy choice. We talk about discipline all the time, and discipline matters, but your environment matters too. If you want to drink more water, have your water bottle filled and sitting next to you. If you want your family to eat more whole foods, wash the fruit, prep the protein, have things ready to grab. If you want to work out in the morning, put your clothes out the night before. If you want to feel better about how you show up in your life and you want to dress nicer, plan your outfits and have it ready to go the night before. If you want smoother school mornings, prepare what you can the previous night. If you're homeschooling, have your school area ready. Have a morning basket ready to go instead of trying to find pencils and books and chargers and worksheets at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you want to eat dinner at home more often, decide what you're eating before you're hungry. Because 5:30 at night, when everyone is tired and hungry, is not when you're going to make your most intentional decisions. Neither is 8 o'clock in the morning when you need a second cup of coffee just to get going for the day. This applies to so many areas of your life. I want you to ask yourself, how can I remove friction from the habits I want to keep? Because discipline gets a whole lot easier when your environment supports the person that you are trying to become. I think we sometimes make healthy habits unnecessarily hard, and then we blame ourselves when we aren't consistent. Instead of constantly asking yourself to try harder, look around and ask, how can I make this easier? How could I set myself up to win? Your environment should support your goals, not constantly compete with them. Number 4, reset as a family. This is something I think gets overlooked in conversations about routines and healthy habits. If you have a family, you're not just creating your routine, you're creating the rhythm of your home. And I think there's something really beautiful about looking at it that way. I want you to sit down with your kids if they're old enough and have them be part of this conversation. Ask them, what do we want mornings to feel like in our home? Do we want them to feel rushed and chaotic, or do we want there to be enough margin so everyone can start the day feeling grounded and relaxed? What do we want evenings to feel like? Decide when we are going to put our phones away. When do we sit down together and play? When do our kids go to bed? When do you connect? When do we move our bodies? What does our home feel like on an average Tuesday? Because ultimately, these ordinary days become our lives. So have these conversations with your spouse, have these conversations with your kiddos. And this connects so much to something I've been talking about lately. We spend a lot of time thinking about the future we're creating. We have goals, we have visions. We think about the kind of family we want, the kind of parent we want to be, the kind of marriage we want, the health that we strive to have, the business we're creating, the life we want. But that future isn't built someday. It's being built in the ordinary rhythms of our lives right now. If somebody watched a replay of your average Tuesday, can they predict the future you're trying to create? Would they see the habits that align with the person you want to become? Would they see a home that reflects the family culture you're trying to build? Would they see through your actions you prioritizing the things that you say matter most to you? And not necessarily perfectly. Let me be really clear, and please hear me when I say that. This is not about perfection, it's about alignment. And I think this is such a beautiful time of year to sit down as a family and say, what kind of home are we trying to create and what rhythms would support that? If your kids are old enough, they can be part of this conversation. There might be something that they want to do together as a family every week. We can ask them, what's something we want to do together? What healthy habits do we want to work on as a family? What makes us feel good? What makes our days feel good? Because when everyone understands the rhythm, it doesn't feel like mom or dad is suddenly enforcing 1,000 new rules. It becomes, this is how our family operates. This is what we value. This is how we take care of ourselves and each other. Number 5 is stop waiting to feel motivated. We have to stop waiting for motivation because there are going to be days when you don't feel like doing any of this. There are going to be mornings when you don't want to get up, days when you don't want to work out, nights when cooking dinner sounds like the absolute last thing you want to do, days when your kids do not want to do school and it's a battle at the kitchen table. There are days where our schedules get messed up. There are days we would rather choose what's more comfortable and easy than what's aligned with our vision and our goals. And that is exactly why our routines matter. The goal of a routine is not to make you perfectly motivated. It's to make motivation less necessary. Eventually, certain things simply become what you do. You move your body, you take care of yourself. You sit down for dinner, you reset the kitchen, you do the schoolwork, you go to bed, you follow through. Not because you wake up every day bursting with motivation, but because you've decided, this is who I am. And every time you follow through, you're casting a vote for that identity. I'm someone who takes care of my body. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who keeps promises to myself. We are a family who prioritizes health. We're a family who spends time together. We're a family who does hard things. We're a family who shows up for each other. We're a family who follows through. And I think that's where healthy habits become so much bigger than checking something off of a list. They're shaping who we're becoming, and they're shaping who our kids are becoming. Your reset does not need to be dramatic. So as we move into this next season, I don't want you to feel like you need to wake up tomorrow and completely overhaul your life. Pick one thing, maybe two. What is one rhythm that would make your mornings better? What's one habit that would make you feel better physically? What's one change that would make evenings feel calmer? What is one thing your family could start doing consistently that would make your home feel more connected? Start there and let it become normal, and then build from there, because the goal isn't to create the perfect routine. The goal isn't to squeeze more productivity out of every minute of your day. The goal is intentionally creating a life that feels good to live in. And I think that's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this episode. There are seasons for freedom. There are seasons for structure. There are seasons when we are incredibly disciplined. And there are seasons where we loosen our grip a little bit and simply enjoy life. You don't have to judge one season because you're entering another. You can be grateful for the slow, spontaneous, free season you just had, while also recognizing, I'm ready for a different rhythm now. I'm ready to feel strong again. I'm ready to feel organized again. I want to feel energized. I want to feel grounded. I'm ready for our home to have a rhythm. And maybe your reset does not need to come from a place of I've fallen off. Maybe it can come from a place of I'm ready to come back to the things that make me feel like me. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, what are my anchors? What rhythms would make my days feel better? Where can I remove friction? What do I want the rhythm of our home to feel like? And what am I willing to do consistently, even when I don't feel motivated? You don't need to change everything. Just take the next aligned step, because the life you're trying to create is not built in one massive transformation. It's built in your mornings, in your meals, in your movement, in your conversations, in your ordinary Tuesdays. It's built in the small promises you make and keep to yourself. Your routines are quietly creating your life. So make sure they're creating one that you actually want to live. I love you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Evolve Your Life. If this episode inspired you, leave a review, share it with a friend, follow so you never miss a moment, and come connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Stefanie Ascher. Until next time, keep evolving your life boldly, beautifully, and unapologetically.